So my project name is apps.ai.gif, which is an in-channel GIF generator. So the basic idea is that we need to allow users to generate GIFs directly from Rocket.Chat, and so that they don't need to switch platforms to do that. So this is me, Aman Negi, and the mentor for my project was Nabhag Motivaras, and he has been really helpful throughout the project. Talking about the problems before we go to the solution. So we previously had GIF generation softwares that were present in Rocket.Chat, like GIF and Tenor. But the issue was that it has no customization. Right, there are a limited number of choices, and they are predefined. So multiple people use the same GIFs, which makes it not unique, and it doesn't appeal the creative people. And lastly, it also does not leverage the latest AI capabilities. And today is the word of AI, so we need to shift to AI possible solutions. So assuming two users here, so Sam and James. So Sam is a Rocket Chat user and he's bored of the same predefined GIS as I just mentioned. He also switches to different platforms, generates a GIF, and then sends it to Rocket Chat. So he wants to reduce this shift of platforms, and instead he wants that they should be integrated right into Rocket Chat. Talking about another user who is James, who has his own company and uses Rocket Chat as his own primary source of communication. He also loves to stay in touch with AI advancements. So he suggests different AI models and GIF generators to his own users. But he wants that these models should be available within his own server in Rocket.Chat. So to solve these all issues that these users face, we have created this apps.ai.gif. Now talking about the features, firstly, whenever a user installs the apps.ai.gif, he is welcomed with a welcome message, and I'll show it to you as well. So this is the message that the user is created with. It entails a few of the features that it covers, and it gives a basic guide how to get started. So we will look into it into the next step. So after this, the user is support to configure the preferences. So if the admin himself administers all these settings, the user does not have to go through it. But in case the user is individually installing the application, he needs to set all these things, right? So if the server admin is running his own instance of, let's say, a model, he can simply give the URL and the users can use it. But in my case, I'm using Replicate, which allows to run open source models. So I'm using Replicate for currently generating the GIFs. And I need to set the API key and webhook URL, which is present in the simply the details page. So that's not an issue. So that are the basic preferences depending upon if you are using your own server or if you are using a, let's say, Replicate or some other provider. Next, that command that we have is help command, which is basic to all CLI tools, right? So any user can type gengif help and get a list of basically some help that what he can do within this application, and we will be looking into them one by one, right? So the next thing that the user can do is get prompt suggestions. Talking about Sam wanted to generate his own GIFs. So it is not important that Sam might know all the prompt engineering that we all know, right? So it is possible that he just wants to enter a simple prompt, a simple query, and on basis of that, he wants to get some prompt suggestions. So that is what this query command does. So he can pass a simple query. So let's say he enters owl, and now he will be suggested with a set of 4 prompts that he can use, right? So takes a moment because it will be generating it using the LLM, and we'll be seeing a set of 4 prompts. Let me type it again. Yeah, so we have it, and he might use any of these to generate the GIF. So let's say he chooses this one. Now he gets a message that is only visible to himself, and it says generating GIF. Please wait. So once it is generated, it will be available in the channel itself. So it will take 10 to 15 seconds. After the time, the GIF will be available here. So let's wait for it. And we can also simultaneously see in replicate that the request is in progress. So yeah, it is done. And we can see it here. So the GIF was generated, and now it sends a basically sort of a notification that your GIF is generated. But if you want to send it, you can send it. Or if you're not satisfied with this result, you can decide to regenerate it. So let's regenerate it, and it will use the same prompt, but we will get a different generation. So talking about the unique and creative aspect, we are solving it here. And this time, let's see what the result is. So we can see the results here as well. It succeeded, and this was the result. I'm much satisfied with the previous one, so let's send it. And now it is sent in the channel, right? So this was the query command, and you can basically pass a query, get a set of suggestions for prompt, and then use that prompt for generation. So here you can see that I was using trees, and I got suggestion for 4 of the prompts. Talking about generation, we know that it is quite expensive, and it makes sense to store them locally so that user can reuse them, right? So there is a command called history, which the user can use to get all the past generations that he has done, right? So on typing history, change life study. So you can see all the generations. So these I had previously generated, and it also has pagination. So this is page 1 of history. This is page 2 of history. So there are 11 generation in total. So Rocket.Chat only allows to show 10 items in preview. So we implemented pagination as well. So that user can see all the past generations, right? So you can also send them. So this was about viewing the past generations. Next, we have generating directly from Rocket.Chat. So let's assume that Sam knows what he does and he knows prompt engineering, and he wants to pass a custom prompt to generate, right? So I have a set of prompts here, and let's take one of them, and let's try to generate a GIF. So you can directly pass the entire prompt here, and he can directly use this and pass it to the LLM, and he would get a response on basis of this prompt directly. So in this stage, we are not generating 4 alterations. We are directly using this one. And we can see that we have a polar bear generation here, and we can send it. Let's try one more. So gen GIF, P for prompt, and then pass the prompt. So here we have it. And it will take a while to generate. So here we have it. And I'm not satisfied with it. So let's try to regenerate it. So the generation output also depends upon the input quality. So if the prompt is not too good, then yeah, this looks good to me. So let's end it. So here we have it. So this is the option available for the power users who know what they're doing, and they can directly pass the prompt into the message itself. Talking about the flow, so this is the our app.ai.gif. We are using text-to-text LLM to generate the 4 prompt variations. Then it sends one of them to the text to GIF LLM. So the LLM that we are using is Hotshot XL. It is an open source text to GIF model, and currently it is the best text to GIF model that you can find, right? So this is the model that we're using for text to GIF. For text to text, I am currently using Llama, and you can decide to swap it out with any of the other LLMs as well. And the GIF generation record is stored on Rocket.Chat itself. So that is the basic flow of the application. Talking about the challenges that I faced during this process. So firstly was that the generation of GIF initially was taking too much time because we were using a different model, and it was taking too much time. So it was basically stopping the front end from receiving updates, right? So instead what we did was we utilized webhooks. So the front end does not need to wait for it, right? So we decoupled it, And using webhooks, now we get the status of the GIF. And also because it is time consuming, we also save the GIFs to users history so that he can reuse them. Talking about the second challenge that I faced was that while taking input from Rocket.Chat itself, the front end throws error because it tries to make multiple requests to the backend. So I can even show you that. So if I go to any one, I try to use GIF. Let me go to the console. There are already logs here. So let's go to GIF and try to enter a long text here, right? You will see that currently in the latest model, it is not showing error, or maybe it is. So there is an error which says that you are trying to enter too many text. Currently, I'm not able to say in this one, but yeah, I have tried to resolve this issue, and that PR is open as well. So I tried to solve it via throttling. So basically, the front end was trying to make multiple requests to the back end on every keystroke. So I figured it out in the firstly, I tried to find it in the apps engine, but then my mentor told me that it would be found in the apps.core. I mean the core. So I went to the core, tried to find it, and eventually I figured it out and implemented throttling, and it fixed the issue. So that was another challenge I faced. Talking about the future of this project, so I would like to implement multiple model support. Like currently, we have this Hotshot Excel and the option to integrate your own one. But I want to provide the user options to implement other than Hotshot Excel, right? So there were multiple models, but there are text to video models, but there are limited text to GIF models. So I want the users to utilize the text to MP4 models as well, because they generate short video only. So we need to look into that. Other than that, I also want to allow the user to use any the text to text GIF, text to text LLM. Uh, Currently, I'm using Llama, but I need to give the user any option to use any of his choice. So these are the future plans for apps.ai.gif. And really thank you for organizing this event and uh, making this summer great. This is the GitHub URL of my repository that I've worked on, and these are my socials. Thanks again.